All right, welcome. Super excited. I've been looking forward to this for a long time. That's why I've been bugging you all with emails. I'm not going to ask for your forgiveness because I like to over communicate, and hopefully you have the information you need. I'm Mark Bradley. I'm the training director. I'm one of the crew chiefs. Randy Hodges is another crew chief, our president. Eric McCormick is on our training team. Tim Ferks is just really smart, and he is a crew chief. James Spinella in the back is our member at large. If I say anything that you don't like, talk to him and he'll laugh at you. So you've got, how many? 1, 2, 4 board members. Eric is on the training team. The punchline here is that we are excited to have you, and we want you to be successful. And I'm going to make a both and statement. The both and statement is, we want you to be successful. We're going to do whatever we can, but we are also going to hold you accountable. Because when you step on that field with a striped shirt and a whistle and a flag, and hopefully pants, we want you to be good, because the coaches and players deserve excellence. There are over 100 officials in our association, and some, the day before their first game, go into their closet, pull out their uniform, hopefully they put it in the laundry, put it on, walk onto the field. And we do not want that out of this group. This is the very first time we have used this online hybrid approach where you register for a course and then you go systematically. So you're beta testing for us. I really appreciate your patience. Thank you to those who have already logged in and gone through and taken quizzes. We don't want to have you sitting here for 20 hours or 30 hours or 40 hours. You'd rather be at home on your couch watching cartoons while you're going through, well, hopefully you don't do it both at the same time. But the hybrid approach is that some of the information that is simplex, one way, you can learn at your own pace. And then here in the classroom, we'll use the Socratic method where we have question and answer. That's why we're doing the hybrid approach. And so thank you to those who have logged in. If you have not logged in, I won't ask you to raise your hand. We really desperately need you to do that. As we go every Tuesday, if you are not looking at the online material, you're going to fall further and further behind. So please watch the videos. You can watch them at 2 times speed. I realize it's my voice. I apologize. I'm going to get Eric to do some of the lessons so you can hear his voice. And that's going to be our approach. And then starting next Tuesday, we're going down to the football field. We're going to go down there today for a little while. We're going to go down to the football field next Tuesday. So please wear clothes that you can run around. So PT gear. We're also, for those of you that are not taking notes, I don't know why you're not taking notes. I'm a very candid person. I don't like to repeat myself. So if I say something and then you text me and say, hey, am I supposed to? Or what did you say about? I will be polite, but inside I'm screaming. There's one of me, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of you, hopefully more soon. I can't babysit everybody. So please, if you don't have a sheet of paper, borrow one from somebody, borrow a pen, and start taking notes, because I'm going to say some things you'll need to know. One of the things I will say is when you show up next Tuesday, you will have a long toss flag, you will have a whistle, and you will have a beanbag. I didn't bring my beanbag. And you will be in PT gear. And where do you learn about uniforms? Talk loud, Lily, so everybody can hear you.
New official orientation on art officiating.
Right, artofofficiating.com. The week 1 material included a uniforms and equipment lesson, which included on that page a guide that says this is what you need to buy. So when we're done with July, if you still want to be with us after we've whipped you and said some very candid things, if you still want to join us, you need to have, when you get drafted, you basically need to have all your gear within 2 weeks. For next Tuesday, we want you to have a flag, a whistle. I have a lanyard whistle. This is what the lanyard whistle looks like. I like to use this kind. It's like a basketball official where you pull it and it's just one line going down to the whistle. Others, there's a lanyard that goes around your neck and it doesn't really cinch. I like to have the cinch. That way if a coach doesn't like me, he can pull on the end and physically choke me. All right, we're looking for $25 to get your materials. So I think everybody except one has paid us. The $25 is to pay our assigner, Scott Samsel, and to do a couple other things. We pay for something called Huddle, which is how we review film. So your $25, by the way, when I started in 2007, it was $25. It's $25 for you. So it's not really a lot of money. We're trying to keep your costs low because we realize you have to pay CFOA, CHSA, and buy uniforms. I need you to write down at least Randy's name and phone number. This is also in the syllabus that I sent you. So if you don't want to write it down, find your syllabus. I'm going to be in charge of training for the first 3 weeks, and then you won't see me for a couple of months. Randy will be the daddy rabbit, and Eric will be the daddy rabbit. So I would like you to at least write down Randy's number, my number, James's wife, Kaylinda, is our vice president, and Eric's number. And starting on the 20th of July, if you try to call me, I will ignore you. I will not pick up, I promise. Because I'm spending some time in prison. Actually, Randy said I get 3 weeks, and if I screw up, he's going to fire me and take over. So I'm anticipating that's what's going to happen. On the 20th of July, you need to write this down, on the 20th of July, I become a dot. I'm a dot on the horizon. My body is a little dot as I'm running away from you. Everybody get that? Until July 20th, I am your de facto crew chief. You can email me, you can text me. Those are my 2 favorite forms of communication. If you call me, I probably won't pick up. I will screen your call. I will listen to your message, and if I want to call you back, I'll make that decision at that moment. Actually, I will call you back, I promise. I promise. You're sitting in the front. I will call you back. Any questions? Did everybody get a chance to write down this information? So Randy, me, and Eric. You can take a picture. Those of you that are tech savvy are taking a picture. Older people like me are writing it down. All right, so this is what we're going to do today. We're going to spend all of the time in this room except we're going to run down to the field for like 10 minutes and get the blood, shake it out, get the blood pumping. Bathrooms are around to just around the corner. The lights are on. If you ever go in there and the light's not on, just bring your phone and create your own light. And this day is kind of a CSFOA, football officiating, what it takes. Online, there is a Football Officiating 101. If you scream at your television and you know, give the middle finger to your brother across the field, maybe you shouldn't be a football official. No. So next week today we're gonna get into a lot of the blocking and tackling and foundational. Next week we're gonna be talking a lot more, and oh, by the way, between this moment and next Tuesday, there's quite a bit of online stuff to do. So I would highly recommend that you try to eat the elephant one bite at a time and don't wait until Monday night to try to do 3.5 hours of training. For those of you that have gone ahead, I appreciate that. If you go ahead, I appreciate that. The punchline is we want you to go through the material. Okay, on Tuesday, 29 July, here we go. Tuesday, 29 July, you will not come here. If I get a phone call from you on 29 July, you've screwed up twice. Number one, you're not supposed to contact me after the 20th. Number two, you're in the wrong place. On the 29th of July is when we do our supplemental draft. After all of the time, every Tuesday in July, you say, I want to be on a crew. We will be at the Westside Global Methodist Church, and you will interview with one of the 9 crew chiefs, minus Tim, minus me. I will have already made my decision. I get the second pick. Mark Van Gampler gets the first one. He was my first crew chief. He's phenomenal. 5:30, Eric is going to do a 1 to 1.5 hour presentation, so you're not sitting there staring at each other. You're going to go in and interview with the crew chiefs. We have a questionnaire for you to turn in. We want your questionnaire to be as detailed as possible, because I'm going to gather your questionnaire and I'm going to create an Excel spreadsheet. If for some reason you cannot make it on this night, what you wrote down will be presented to, hello sir, good to see you.
How you doing today?
You owe us money. You just don't get to come in and sit down. You owe us money.
I've been listening, getting off for work.
And the crew chiefs are going to be interested in a word above all. I'm interested in attitude, ability, and what's the third one? Availability. But if your availability is off the charts and you're the worst official ever in the history of football, some crew chiefs will say, I want that guy. If your availability is horrible, that's okay. I did 17 games my first year because my availability was atrocious. If you do 5 games, that's your business. You are an independent contractor. If you can only do 1 game, that's your business. But if your availability is perfect, then you will get snatched up right away. Okay? So, questionnaire. Give me as much information as you can. If you don't give me a lot of information, and for some reason the planets line up, your planets line up, David, and you can't make it, then we're going off of what you wrote on your questionnaire. Yes, Brett?
It's going to be this one you're talking about.
That is the one. Yep, you're going to turn that in. And that's why, David, I didn't want you to turn it in again. Okay. The punchline here is, and again, this is both and. We don't want you if you do not come after tonight. We do want you, but we don't want you. Because you need to participate, especially in the mechanics training. In 2007, there was no mechanics training. There was no art of officiating, not the website, but the art. We just talked rules the whole time. My first game was at Challenger Middle School, and I had no idea what I was doing. And I even told the white hat in the parking lot, I don't have any idea what I'm doing. And he goes, well, let's just go out there and we'll figure it out. I'm petrified because I haven't been given any training except rules training. Now, you must pass an 80-question true-false test online. Everybody's going to register for Arbiter. I'll talk about that in a second. You must pass. Lily, thank you for taking notes. That's so good as an instructor to see you taking notes. Appreciate it.
I did forget to ask you, I was recording that, okay?
That's fine. Yep, he's recording too. He edits out all of the dumb things that I say. You have to edit out all the dumb things that I say.
The final video is like 10 minutes long.
Yeah, the final video is 10 minutes long, he said. So the true-false test, you get 2 chances to pass it. I will tell you this right now, and you better be writing something down, and it takes longer, but you write down all of the questions, or you copy the questions as you take them. And you copy your answer. It'll take a while because it's 80 questions. If you fail it and take it a second time, all the questions will be reordered and you will have no idea which questions you missed and which questions you got right. So it takes a little bit of work where you cut and paste question 1 and you say, I think that's true. And then you fail the test and you go back and it will tell you you missed question 1, 10, 11, 15, 18, whatever. And then you say, okay, I missed question 1. I picked true. What is the correct answer? False. So only Yankees fans, if they fail number 1, will not get 100% on the second try. So Steve, we're already expecting that's going to happen. Did anybody not understand what I just said? Steve, thank you. That's how you pass the 80. Now I'm not saying to just burst through, fail it, and then get it right the second time. That's not what I want. I want you to get 100% the first time. But there's no way you should fail the second time if you roll up your sleeves, you use a little elbow grease, cut the first question and say that's question number 1. Second question, question number 2, because it will tell you the number of the question you failed. When you retake the test, it may be, I hope they put it in the same order for everybody's sake. But if they don't, and you don't do that, you're kind of screwed. Okay, when you, and I want you to write this down, we'll tell you this again. When you pass the test, who are you going to contact to say, I passed the test?
Randy.
Not me, because I will not care at that moment. I will care in my heart, but no other part of my body will care.
Scott?
Yes.
Would we contact Scott?
Randy.
Randy?
Yes, the good-looking guy over there. Because if you don't pass the test, you do not get drafted. Because the crew chiefs got mad at us a couple of years ago when they were drafting people who hadn't passed the test. And we don't want crew chiefs to get mad because, ask James what happens when one of the crew chiefs gets mad. He gets in trouble. Does everybody got that? Did you write it down? Because if you think you're going to remember it, you're not.
Can you get his phone number, please?
Randy's phone number on the slide that I showed you
Yeah.
and told you to write it
I
down?
wrote it down, but let's see, Randy at Verizon.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Sorry, Brett. You triggered me for a second. I'm trying to help. All right. So it's Randy. You're going to email Randy and you're going to say, I passed the test, or do you want him to do a screenshot and?
Screenshot of the email you get is perfect.
Yeah.
Just forward that to me.
Okay.
Forward me the email.
We realize, unless you are Eric McCormick, you will not be a rules expert. We're going to cover rules and mechanics. We're going to talk about art of officiating, although we're not going to spend a ton of time. if you go and you watch every video on art of officiating, you will be way ahead, because that's what I talk about in the videos. You won't be a rules and mechanics expert in 1 month. This is my 18th year, and there are rules that I still question myself. We're not going to go into the weeds on certain things because you're a brand new official, with some exceptions. We're not going to talk about momentum exception for 30 minutes. We're not going to talk about first touching for 30 minutes. We're going to try to equip you to be successful to walk on a 7th grade, 8th grade field. We also do Parks and Rec, so we go down to 3rd grade. None of you in this room are going to be on a varsity field right away. Some of you, if you're like Eric, will be on a varsity field your next game, but not your first game. Your first game was not a varsity game. Okay, how many games did it take for you to step on a varsity field?
5 or so.
Yeah, so you're not Eric. Eric is the gold standard. None of us, I can't even make eye contact for longer than like 5 seconds. So give yourself permission to fail. Give yourself permission to not be the best. If you're used to being the best, give yourself permission to not be the best right away. That's the punchline. But I want you to be perfect. Give yourself permission to fail, but you'd better be perfect. Does that make sense? Doesn't make sense to me, but that's how we want it to be. Don't be the official that thinks you can go into your closet the day before your first game and put the uniform on and walk out there and not have any idea what you're doing, because the kids and the coaches and the parents, they should stone you after the game if that's your attitude. Okay? Is that a deal? All right, I'm gonna look at everybody's eyes. Oh, there, I got you. Yeah, I'm serious. We've had too many officials that think that's the way to go, and they just want the money, and they see others around them that are like that, and you don't be that. Please do not be that. Be excellent. Okay, good. The resources you should have is you have a rules book. Notice it says rules, not rule. It is a rules book because there's more than one rule. You have a case book. The case book is rules, and like, for example, if you open your case book, Brett, do you not have what you need? Okay, you didn't get, so James, you didn't do your job? Okay, everybody, if you don't have a rules book and a case book, go talk to James. You don't have case books?
No.
That's fine.
Okay, I think you should all get your money back. Do you have Reading study guides?
They don't have that.
Okay, good. As long as you have a Reading study guide, you're good.
Okay.
Okay, so you don't worry about the case book for now. We'll figure out what happened. A rules book, a case book. Where's my Reading study guide? Reading study guide. This is worth more than its weight in gold. This is the answer right here. We have in our association a gentleman named George Demetrio, who is in the NFHS Hall of Fame for the whole country. He is in the CHSAA Hall of Fame. He is the author of the book that when this book comes out, people from all over the country except Texas buy copies of this book, and he is one of our crew chiefs. So we are very, very blessed. I spent more time in this book than I did the rules book. This is the rules book and the case book and true-false questions and scenarios. You need to read this book every night. Instead of reading your cartoon books, your New York Yankees Aaron Judge, Super Aaron cartoon books, this is the book now that you need to commit to memory, the Reading Study Guide. So and then this is the gold standard for websites. There's nothing like this in the world. And I don't charge any money. As a matter of fact, I pay money out of my own pocket for this website. So I'm losing money to help you get better. So please use it. I have a weird sense of humor, don't I, David? You're sitting there with a big frown on your face going, who is this clown? All right, thank you, Ron. He smiled, half smile. Okay, we do a hybrid training approach. I already talked about that, hybrid meeting, online and in person. You're here in person, thank you. I can track your progress, but I'm not gonna get into your chili. You decide whether or not you wanna be good or not. When you take a quiz, I get an email. I could go in and see how much time you spend on the website. I could, but I won't. I promise you I will not. It's up to you to be good. It's your call. We do the online course so that I don't have to send you an email every week saying do these things. You just systematically go through what we've set up online. We want you to go through everything, because if you don't, and we start talking about a concept that was online, and you haven't watched the video and you want to spend 15 minutes, I will shut you down. Did you watch the video? No, I didn't. We're not talking about it right now. So you have to earn the right to be here, to be in residence. And is that too mean to say? I'm a very candid person. So earn the right to come in here, and then if you watch the video and you have notes, and I see that you're taking notes and you go, man, at 17 minutes and 12 seconds, you said something stupid and I want to talk about it, let's talk about it. Is that a good deal? Okay, deal. All right, it will be a fire hose. This says reach out to Mark or Eric. Don't reach out to me after the 19th. Reach out to Randy and Eric, okay? Okay, good. This is up to you. This is up to you. I don't know how else to say it. Somebody in this room could be a state championship official. Raise your hand, Eric. Could be a state championship official very soon. You could be a state championship. If you want to be a back judge, you could do it in like 4 years. Umpires, state championship umpires, yeah, even though they don't cut their hair, yeah, so if you want to be good at football and be a crew chief and one day be the president or the training director, I want you to usurp me. I want to be put out of a job. Please. I love doing this, but you won't see me around in a couple of years anyways. We want you to be excellent on the field and not just satisfied to wear a uniform, have a flag, and a whistle. Coaches don't like that at all. They ask you a question on the sideline and you have no idea because you haven't studied. And then you guess, and they're even more angry. So we want you to work as hard as you can. And it's okay if after tonight you say, Mark is mean, you know, he made me feel bad, he said some mean things, I don't want to be part of this group. We'll give you your money back as long as we get your books back. And any pens as well. I think I have a good sense of humor. You kind of gave me a little smirk. I appreciate that.
But you don't realize I'm smiling all the time.
You're smiling, oh, kind of like the Hulk, where the Hulk says, I'm angry all the time. I like it. Okay. We have some icons, not including me, but icons that started in our association, and they're doing big things. One of them is a guy named Randy Campbell, who was a Colorado Springs official. He worked one of the national championship games, but some of the things that I have, I gleaned from him, and this is something he told me. We have officials for 3 major reasons. Number one is to make sure that one team does not gain an advantage of the other team within the rules. Number 2, to facilitate safety. We don't ensure safety, by the way. So parents get mad at us when somebody gets hurt, and they get mad at us because the kid got hurt. And number 3 is to facilitate the game. So that is spotting the ball, moving the chains, blowing the ready for play, basically creating a foundation for the game to flow. This is your rules knowledge. If you don't know the rules, you can't do one. If you don't know the rules, I guess safety, if you throw a flag when a kid gets hurt because somebody face masked and you throw a flag, it's better. It's not great because the kid's still hurt. It's better because we saw it. What sucks is when we don't throw the flag and the kid gets hurt and we didn't flag it. Facilitate the game is mechanics. Mechanics manual. This thing, this really thick thing, there is a 3 and 4 person mechanics manual that you're going to be more concerned about as a new official. This is 5-person mechanics, but there are a lot of precepts in this book, like how to blow your whistle, how to throw the flag, when in question. When in question, a runner is down by contact before he fumbled. When in question, the pass is incomplete and not complete. So there's a lot of golden nuggets in there in addition to 5-person mechanics. Unless your name is Eric McCormick, you probably won't do 5-person mechanics except a couple of you that have some officiating history. George Demetrio, the author of the Reading Study Guide, says without officials, it's only recess. You probably have already heard that elsewhere. All right, Randy, do you want to take this one or do you want me to keep going?
No, keep going.
All right, I guess I don't get fired yet. CSFOA has a rich history and we travel quite a bit. So you might hear somebody say out east. Out east is some of the smaller schools like Simla, or out east and north Kiowa. But we've been going for more than 75 years, and the boundaries, we can go farther than these boundaries if other associations need help. And don't edit this out. Denver doesn't like doing 6-man games. We go all the way up to Deer Trail, which is closer to Denver. It's like across the street from Denver, but we drive all the way up there because they don't want to do a 6-man game at Deer Trail. So I don't think Deer Trail is here. No, Deer Trail is there. And we also help other associations. I went all the way up to almost Kansas to, what's that 8-man school up there? Whatever it is, it was like a 5-hour drive.
Stratford.
No, it's way the heck up there. All right. Other organizations, and this was a quiz question. This was a quiz question, so hopefully you got it right. When we say NFHS, we are talking about the association, NFHS, the association that governs high school football, and there are 49 states plus the District of Columbia that use this rule book. Texas is the only school that uses college rules. It used to be Massachusetts as well, and then they came into NFHS. When we say NFHS, that is synonymous with high school football. NFHS. So we say the NFHS code, the NFHS rule, NFHS. When we hear NFHS, just think high school football, okay? So that is the National Federation of State High School Associations. George Demetrio is in their Hall of Fame. We're very, very blessed to have him. CHSAA governs Colorado High School Activities Association. They do football and everything else. They do online gaming, I think they have now. So if you're really good at Mario Kart, you can probably be a CHSAA state champion in Mario Kart. When we say CHSAA, we're talking about, we as high school football officials can get into a lot of trouble with CHSAA CHSA is you know, beyond the golden curtain or whatever. And they do JV and C squad and varsity. That's CHSA. When you do middle school or Parks and Rec, CHSA has nothing to do with that. 7th, 8th grade, 3rd and 4th, 5th and 6th. We have Parks and Rec from 3rd grade to 8th grade. We have middle school football, 7th and 8th grade. CHSA does not govern that, okay? So this is CHSA. You can go to chasanow.org, chasanow.org, to go to CHSA's website. We also have a state football association called CFOA, and we are under CFOA's authority. We are Area 3, so write that down. When they say, what area are you in? Either hold up 3 fingers for 1 month straight, or get a tattoo of the number 3, or write it down. We are Area 3. Colorado Springs is Area 3. There are, I believe, 17 or 18 areas. Some are tiny, Denver's the largest, we're the 2nd largest. Pueblo has one, Grand Junction, Arkansas Valley, etc., etc. CFOA, Randy is an area director, and James, who just left, his wife Kaylinda, is an area director for the Colorado Football Officials Association. We are Area 3 in the Colorado Football Officials Association. Here is our schedule. You can take a picture, write it down, or watch the video later. We had a veterans draft. All of the officials that were with us last year were drafted onto 9 crews. So Randy has a crew, Tim has a crew, I have a crew, Kaylinda, James's wife, has a crew. There are 5 other crew chiefs. We did a serpentine draft. We all have officials on a crew. On the 29th of July, true or false, you will come here.
No.
False. You will go to
Methodist.
the Westside Global Methodist Church. The Westside Global Methodist Church. And what time will you be there? 5:30. And what will you do at this church? Interview with crew chiefs. And if you can't be there, how will they know anything about you? The questionnaire. Did you say that?
Yeah.
I am so proud. I want to give you a hug.
That's hard to pronounce.
The smartest Yankees fan I've ever met. Do you mind, by the way, when I do this?
No, not at all.
Okay, good. Because I figured you'd mind. You know, Yankees fans are very triggered. They have thin skin. But Steve, you need to be a Red Sox fan. All right. You will be on a crew on the 29th. Now, if you have a great crew chief like me, you'll get contacted that night. If you don't have a great crew chief, you might not get contacted, but you'll eventually find out that you're on a crew. On the 2nd of August, is that true? 2nd of August, Randy?
Yeah, and it's at Palmer Ridge High School.
Palmer Ridge High School, we have a State Master Clinic, and a bunch of people get together from Colorado Springs, Pueblo, others, you know, come to the clinic, and then
That's a
Cruise-
mandatory clinic for everybody.
including me.
Yeah.
I can't be there.
Yeah.
I'm going to be in
You'll have to
prison,
watch it
remember?
online.
They do have internet in prison?
Yeah, they do.
Okay, good. You will have scrimmages, so that's why you need to have your uniforms. How do you learn about buying uniform items?
Training online.
There's a video online where I go step by step through how to buy. What size stripes do you buy? 2 1/4 inch stripes with a sublimated flag on your left breast pocket, above your pocket. How many things do you buy of each item? 1. Unless you have lots of money, you can buy as many as you want. But if you can't afford it, buy 1. And then if you say, I love this football thing, you can buy another. I've got 2 short sleeve and 2 long sleeve shirts. I think I have 3 short sleeve. You end up accumulating uniform items. On or about the 29th of August, we start our varsity schedule. We actually do middle school before that and possibly Parks and Rec. So you could be doing games as early as like the 3rd week of August. Early November, the season ends and our playoffs begin, so the varsity playoffs. And then early December or late November, state championships. And then we typically have a banquet like the 3rd week of November. And we want you to save your pennies to come to the banquet. So start saving money now. All right. We divide all of our officials amongst 9 crews. The crew chiefs, after you are drafted, unless I am your crew chief, you no longer communicate with me. Now, we will develop a relationship, and you can always reach out to me. I am the training director, and when I'm in prison, I won't be. Eric will be your point of contact, or Randy, because I will not be able to communicate with you. But when they let me out of prison, and I suddenly show up, if I can, you can come and talk to me all you want. If your crew chief is not meeting your needs, that person is still your crew chief, but you can kind of do a little backdoor email to Eric and say, hey, I was at a game, coach said this, what was I supposed to respond? I sent a note to my crew chief, I haven't heard from my crew chief, could you help me? Right, Eric? Right, okay. And thank goodness being placed on a crew isn't a lifetime assignment. So if you're on my crew and you hate me, you can be drafted on a different crew the next year. And you can even say to Randy, I don't want to be on Mark's crew because I hate him, because he's mean. We redraft every year. Any questions so far? We'll take a break in a few minutes. All right. This was probably the hottest game I've ever done in my life. At Gary Berry, week 0. I think it was Cherry Creek and like Palmer. The best school in the land versus the worst school in the land.
Probably Doherty.
Doherty?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Doherty. Were you on that game?
Yeah.
Okay, so Tim and I were on this game. You can already tell I'm about ready to have heat stroke. This is definitely Cherry Creek because that's Dave Logan. And it snowed so much that when the ball was live, there were people on the field with shovels. And we had to measure one time, and it took us like 5 minutes because we had to shovel to find out where the clip was located, to find out where the 5-yard mark was so that we could bring the chains out and spot them properly. So in Colorado, if you are from Colorado or you've been here for more than like a week, you know that there is a moment when you pack your entire bag of short sleeves and long sleeves and a balaclava and long underwear and hand warmers and gloves. If you want to survive in Colorado officiating, you need to get the cold weather gear. If you want to survive, just wear the minimum amount of clothing. I recommend myself to buy the summer pants, and then I don't get cold from the waist down for some reason. I buy the summer pants, and then in the cold of the winter, you can't see my pants here. I wasn't wearing pants, but I just wore the Under Armour, tights. And I probably had foot warmers in and hand warmers. And I remember in this game, the umpire didn't wear gloves. And after the game, my hands were freezing. There were 2 blocks of ice. And I said, where are your gloves? He said, Mark, hold my hand. I held his hand. And it was like fiery warm. And I thought, I want to be you. If you have any uniform questions, first watch the video. I won't answer any questions if you haven't watched the video. And Eric, you told me to bring my bag, and I forgot my bag. I thought about my bag like 20 times yesterday, and my bag is in my basement. I get my bag like the day before my first game, right? If you have any questions, I want you to buy a long toss flag. My rookie year, nobody said anything to me, and I bought a cloth flag that had a weight zone in the middle that could probably go from here to Steve. And I tried to throw it, and it didn't go very far. It's like, what the heck? Somebody said, get a long toss flag, and I said, well, thank you for telling me. I actually have made my own long toss flag. I took mine apart and put more weight in it so that I could throw the flag a little farther. I think Honig's has a tiny little ball and it doesn't go very far, so I took the Honig's flag apart and put more weight in. You have a black ball because when you put it in your pants, you don't want yellow showing. And I just, I made my own flag. But you want a long toss flag. You want a Fox 40 whistle with a rubber tooth grip. And you can either use a finger whistle, which looks like this. Somebody can even have this because it doesn't have the grip on it. This is a finger whistle. And some people wear a finger whistle and they don't wear a lanyard whistle. It's your choice. The thing I don't like about the finger whistle is if I blow it and I have to give a signal with two arms, I have to discipline myself to blow it, take my whistle out, and then do my two-arm signal. And I've seen a lot of one-arm signals. Dumb, dumb, dumb. So I used to wear a finger whistle, and then I transitioned to lanyard. And with anything that's new, I call it the ugly duckling syndrome, where it feels really awkward, and you practice, and now I'm on the field, and I hold the whistle in my hand before I put it in my mouth. So I have the whistle in my mouth, snap goes off, I spit it out, I'm running, and when the play's about ready to be over, I grab my whistle and I hold it, and I put it in my mouth to blow the whistle if it's my job to blow the whistle. You can do whatever you want. If you buy one of these, this says Arbiter Sports on it. I don't know why. Buy a Fox 40 whistle, finger whistle with the rubber tooth grip. If you want a finger whistle.
David, did you have a question earlier?
Yeah, on the shirts, do any of the crews, or are we gonna need to worry about having placards on the back based on position?
No. In Colorado, we do not wear positions or numbers. That's a great question.
That's the only thing I need.
Okay. When you go on to some of the sites, some of this, and by the way, in the uniform lesson, I recommend against just blindly buying packages, although I was told that you can build your own packages. And I don't know if that's true or not. Somebody told that to me. Unless I see it on the internet, I don't believe it, because the internet is always right. When somebody tells me, I don't necessarily believe it. But if you go to a site that allows you to pick and choose to put into a container, and it's called a package, knock yourself out. I recommend you go to, Honig's, you go to Umpatire, you shop around, spend a couple hours, because you're gonna have this gear forever. Randy finally made me change out my flag. After 17 years, he made fun of me in public, and I had to buy new flags. So spend time to look around, get the right price. Some of the sites have a drop down where you can pick Colorado, and then it'll show you shirts in Colorado. But it's a 2 1/4 inch with a sublimated flag. The long sleeves are a little bit thicker. Obviously the short sleeves, you'll see different patterns. I'm fat, I will tell you I'm fat, so You don't get to tell me I'm fat for the first time. I will confess it. And some of these stripes, this uniform, they have a big black panel because it wasn't sewn, and it just makes me look fatter. It's embarrassing. And by this way, stripes, vertical stripes are not slimming. Because I saw myself on TV and it's like, no, you are fat. But I think mine is a Smitty's. I don't remember. Whatever. I don't know why I'm looking at you, Tim. You don't know what I bought.
Oh, I do.
Oh, you do? Okay. Do you have any uniform or equipment questions? Yes, sir.
Quick question on your head thing you have on there. I have one of those that has the Under Armour logo that's visible.
Lovely.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And if a coach yells at you, just go, dude. Under Armour logo, talk to the hand. Because I'm styling. If you don't have one of these, you will wish that you did. There will be a game where you wish that you did because you will freeze to death. So I would say I have like 82 different kinds of gloves in my bag, and I finally settled on a great, and I should bring it in. It's black and white, and it's so warm. But the Redhead, if you've heard of Redhead brand, I've got one of those. And what some people will do is they'll take latex gloves, and they'll put the latex gloves on and then put their gloves over that, and it keeps your hands warmer. And then what I would do is I would steal hand warmers from players. So that, a play would go off and there'd be a hand warmer on the ground, and I'd be like, and I'd kick it, and then pick it up and put it in my pocket, and then put it in my glove. Where's my hand warmer? Dude, I don't know. Am I supposed to watch your hand warmer for you? All right, any other questions? Yes, ma'am.
The shoes, you had said they needed to be black or mostly black.
Yes.
What is mostly black?
It's like Mostly Dead in Princess Bride. He's not dead, just mostly dead. Randy, what is mostly black for your crew?
The shoe you have on is mostly black.
The shoe I have on is mostly black.
So the weight, the weight around the heel, is it okay? Or are we not doing that?
Randy is our president. He said it's okay. Is it okay?
It's okay.
Our president said it's okay. Is it okay? Yes. Now, if your crew chief says no and makes fun of you, that's okay. If you wear this on my crew, I'll make fun of you one time, and then you can wear it for the rest of the season.
Thank you.
Yeah. Good question. Somebody else had a question.
Yeah, so until we get into that wear section, crew chief will decide on pants.
No, the pants are black pants with a white stripe. And if you buy a pair of shorts with a white stripe and I see you, I will ride you mercilessly. All black. You could have a logo. But because you can buy them online, and my video said I'll make fun of you, right? I think a video said it. Don't buy the black shorts with the white stripe. You will stand out like a sore thumb. Unless Randy says you can wear it. And then if Randy says you can wear it, I will personally try to unseat him and try to find the requisite number of members to kick him out. Okay, good question. Any other questions? Yes, sir.
You started the story and then I wasn't sure. So the black under the arm,
Yeah.
is that a good or no go, or because I got both?
Well, so some of them, the stripe, the manufacturer,
Yeah, I know.
it's like white, black, and then the stripe is like 1/8 of an inch. So you have 2 white panels and then a little black. And then for me, it's white, black with a 18-inch black panel. And it's like, that just amplifies my fatness. And so what you want is a manufacturer, and you can't tell because you're just going to get it in the mail. So when you get it in the mail, you're going to open it up, and then either your reaction is going to be, oh crap, or your reaction will be, oh goody.
But as an association, we're,
You have 2 1/4 inch stripe.
all right. So
And then the
black and
manufacturer,
green is
depending
not-
on if you're,
That's-
like Eric, who's fit and looks good in a uniform.
He's only got one black stripe.
Yeah. So there's like 18 different manufacturers. You just pick one. Mine's Smitty's. Is that right?
Yeah, he was both are okay. That's both are fine.
And Tim's a crew chief, so he if you're on Tim's crew, you're fine. Okay, let us take a 10-minute break. I wanted to talk to you about Arbiter. Arbiter is an online scheduling tool. You are going to, unless you get a hold of me tonight and send me a text or an email, don't call me because I won't answer, and say, you know what, Mark, I changed my mind, don't want to be a football official, I want my money back, here are your books. I'm going to send an email to Monica Tillman at CHASA up in Denver. And I'm going to say, here are the names and the emails of the people in Colorado Springs that we want you to load in Arbiter. She will then put your name in, she will hit enter, and you should receive a series of emails from Monica Tillman from CHASA. It will invite you to be a member of a specific football group, Colorado Football Officials Association. When you correctly accept the invitation, and if you are in Arbiter already, you have to accept the football group. So if you do hockey, you're in Arbiter, you have to accept the football group. She will also send you instructions on how to pay the rest of your dues, which is $97, I think. 122 minus 25 is 97. If you cannot afford the 97, you can wait until the 28th of July, and then when you pay it, the punchline is that you need to have passed the 80-question true-false test and paid the $25 and paid the 97 to be put on the supplemental draft list. If you have not done all 3 of those, you will not be drafted. Then you're going to reach out to somebody and say, how come I haven't been called by my crew chief? And we're going to say, who are you? You are dead to us. If you do all 3, you're put on the supplemental list, you will be drafted. Arbiter. And I will show you, can you go back to the slide deck?
Yep.
Okay. Arbiter changes their look occasionally, so I hope this is the look. This is Arbiter, the page. It has a login. You click on login, and this is a screenshot of my page. And what I will tell you is when you go into Arbiter, you will have to do a series of events. And if you go to our website, the one that Randy so expertly built is, there's not a URL, it's cffootballofficials.com, or if you just Google Colorado Springs football officials, and hopefully everybody has been on our website at least once. If you click on resources and you see this resources, there is a link called Arbiter Getting Started. If you reach out to me before the 20th of July and say, what am I supposed to do with Arbiter? I will make fun of you and answer your question. So I will say something like, were you sleeping when I pointed to the slide, Arbiter Getting Started, and then I will pause, and then I will say, this is how you get the answer. Because I just can't help myself. I'm sorry. This is on the resources. And oh, by the way, there are tons of other resources. I would invite you to snoop around our website. Randy's done an outstanding job on the website. There is a new officials tab. Many of you went to new officials, filled out the contact us, and that's how we heard about you. Others, you went through CHASA, and Monica sent the information. Here's the arbitersports.com. And oh, by the way, this really cool website called Art of Officiating, you should check it out. It's really good. I highly recommend it. It's free, by the way. Although, Bruce, your business is going to sponsor my website, right?
Am I?
That's what I heard.
Okay.
This is Arbiter Getting Started. Arbiter Getting Started. That's the key to the kingdom, is Arbiter Getting Started on the resources page. Yes, Brett?
If I'm already on there, will it just link me?
In Arbiter?
Yeah, I'm already on Arbiter.
But you're not part of the football
Not
group.
part of this thing, but I am Arbiter. Will that link my account or?
When you get the email from Monica and she says, accept this, the CFOA football, then you will be tied into, because some people do like baseball, hockey, whatever. Yes, sir.
Would the spring be different from the fall? But then we have to accept the fall. We already did this. Well, not spring, but the.
Yeah. So you were not part of CFOA in the spring.
Okay.
We used Arbiter to schedule you and pay you. And oh, by the way, thank you for saying that. If you don't link your bank account to arbitersports.com to Arbiter Pay, and you don't link the two, you will not get paid. And who should you not contact if you're not paid?
You.
Me. Because this Arbiter Getting Started tells you how to link your bank to Arbiter. So if you follow instructions, when I was a lieutenant and a captain in the Air Force, I was a missile launch officer. ICBM, 60 feet underground, turnkeys, launch ballistic missiles at Russia. I am a checklist monkey. Read a step, do a step, eat a banana. That's what I did for a living. Others of you that were in the military were smarter than me. You didn't rely on checklists like me. So I was a checklist monkey. I just want you to be a checklist monkey for 5 minutes of your life. Even Eric. Okay. Tim, do you want to go to?
I just wrote SCFO. That is the group. He keeps saying CFOA, and that's not the group.
That's not the group. So
The
see,
group that you're going to get is, and it says it down there at the bottom of the screen, SCFO. That's the group you're going to get added to get games.
he's given me 3 weeks and then he's going to fire me. So that was mistake number one. When you log in, there will be a whole series of tabs at the top. You will have a schedule tab. By the way, when you're assigned games that are in Arbiter from 3rd grade Parks and Rec all the way up to varsity, high school varsity, you will get an email that says you have new games. Log in to accept or decline the games. You will be able to block dates. So if you need to wash your cat one day and you can't do football, you can block a date. Lists is everybody in our association. If you need to look up phone numbers, go ahead and click on that. If you want to know about Tim Ferks, you can click on F for Ferks, and then you click on Ferks, and you see this beautiful picture. Tim doesn't have his address. That's a party foul on my crew. If you're on Tim's crew, I guess you don't have to put your address, because you don't want people coming to your house, right?
I guess not.
Yeah.
Just to add on to that, it's really important that you put all the information in, your mobile number, your email, get a picture like that's a head and shoulders picture, because otherwise it's very difficult to get a hold of you if somebody needs to get a hold of you to tell you about a game that you have, or where to be, when to be, all that kind of stuff. So the only thing that's required is your name and something else.
Yeah.
You're in. you need to fill all that information in. And it, by default, it'll all be private. If it's private, no one else can see it. All right, so
Where's your
unless you're
address?
like on witness protection, all right, don't
Why?
uncheck
Are
the
there no
private
addresses?
stuff on
What
all
did you
of your
do?
phone numbers
Just
and
put the
emails,
dir-
okay?
Yeah, but why are there no addresses?
Okay, I take it back. I don't want any of you at my house, so no. I don't know why it's not showing addresses, because my address is in there. Yeah, it's really awkward when somebody doesn't know what you look like, and you're doing a game, and they're at the field, and there's like, yeah, there's this guy with stripes and a whistle and a flag, but I don't know what he looks like, so I'm just gonna leave him alone. It's best if they see your beautiful face so that they at least can pick you out in a crowd, because what if like 10 people come to the game with stripes? Then you don't stand out. That was my attempt at a joke. Thank you for smiling, Bruce. Really appreciate it.
Don't upload photos of yourself, you know, walking out of the beer of the bar
Yeah.
at 2 a.m. You know.
Yeah, some people, their photos are done.
Yeah.
So.
Make it a professional photo.
Right.
That people can see what you look like.
Okay, so this is Arbiter. We use this for scheduling. What the schools do is they load funds in Arbiter and then they pay. So if you're not connected, your bank is not connected, you don't get paid. Arbiter is a good thing. And oh, by the way, how are you going to take your 80 question true false test?
Probably
In Arbiter. So when I send your information to Monica and you get that email and you don't pay attention to the email and you send me an email after the 20th of July, you won't get a response. You send it to Randy. Hey, Randy, how am I supposed to take my test? After he makes fun of you, he will give you the right answer. We do the test in Arbiter. Go ahead.
I just got one question, and it's kind of important to do this Arbiter thing, and it's just from my experience. Being new to this organization, I'm not sure, but the one thing I do not like to do is chase pay, because some of the organizations...
You don't like to do what?
Chase pay, because if you go to Arbiter and your money's not there, they say, well, the organization hasn't paid us yet, so I can't pay you yet. I mean, how does that work? Is that a weekly?
You talk to your crew chief. Yep. And first you talk to the white hat of the game, and we get paid well. I mean, there's only a couple of schools that made, like last year we didn't get pay from a school, it was Falcon. Falcon didn't pay us for like 3 weeks or 4 weeks. That's a one-off. Okay, go ahead back to the slides, please, Tim. All right. So what I will do is, if you don't contact me and say I'm out, I'm going to send your name and contact information to Monica Tillman at CHASA. She will enroll you in Arbiter. You will receive a welcome email with login instructions. You will also receive instructions regarding paying the $97. It is an intelligence test. Just go through the steps and follow the steps. She will give you this long email. So just go through. If you have any issues with the Arbiter, first of all, read her email. Second of all, go to the link on our website. If you have any questions after that, you can then text me. We want you to fill out all profile information, including what is the area number? 3. Thank you, David. Are you vying to be smarter than Eric? Because I just want...
me.
Yeah. Who said 3?
He did.
Oh, Ron. Okay, David, I'm sorry. I didn't mean
Try
to
to.
say you were intelligent at the moment. Ron, are you vying to be smarter than Eric?
Sure.
Okay, we're throwing down here, Eric. Yeah, you're area 3, and you are going to register for Arbiter Pay if you want to get paid. If you don't want to get paid, don't register for Arbiter Pay. Just leave it if you don't want to get paid.
So one of the things that he's making a big deal out of Area 3, if you don't list yourself in Area 3, you don't show up on our roster.
And you don't get games.
Yeah, so you need to make sure that you set yourself up as Area 3 when you get in Arbiter.
How soon do you put that in?
One time. Yep. And then you can talk to your crew chief after you are, and if your crew chief said, didn't you learn it in new officials training, say, no, they wanted to leave this one item for you to help me with. Yes, sir.
If I was an arbiter before, am I still in there?
He said, if I was an arbiter before, are you still in there?
Yes.
Maybe.
Yes.
They may have taken you out of the Area 3 roster, but your account should still be there.
Yeah, so go through all the steps. Okay. This is all the things that you need to be a successful official. So look at all these. It's not a 3-legged stool. It's not a 4-legged stool. It's at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6-legged stool. Now, I don't meet the fitness, but I have 5 other legs that, help me. But definitely rules knowledge. Do I want you to be perfect with your rules knowledge? Yes, I want you to be perfect tonight with your rules knowledge. That's the expectation. You decide. It's like swimming from California to Hawaii. The expectation is you make it the whole way swimming. The realization is you're going to drown either 100 feet off of the shore or 3 miles off of the shore, but you will drown. But the expectation is that you are perfect, you make it to Hawaii. We have this thing called mechanics. Mechanics are very important because they help you decide where to stand, where to look, how to signal, all of those things. Your judgment. Now, there's a whole spectrum of judgment. Some people are very draconian. If you do this to a player, I'm flagging you for holding. Others are like, no, there's an art of officiating. I don't see demonstrated restriction. I'm not going to, do you mind if I grab? I'm not going to flag you. I asked afterwards. It's about ready to come over the table. Sorry. Yeah, so there's judgment. And if you throw a net over 100 officials, you get 100 different opinions sometimes. How do you communicate? There is a lesson on the website called Communicating with Coaches, Parents, and Players. I highly recommend you watch it. How do we get along with each other? Red Sox, Yankees, or, Red Sox, Red Sox. And then how fit are you? We actually had a guy who had half a foot, and he showed up on a knee scooter to games, and he could make it down the field like 10 feet. And he was a football official. But I think, unless your name is Eric, or, he rides 120 miles on his exercise bike. I know because I can see it online. Get fit. Get fit so that you're not sucking air. Make sure your shoulders work, that kind of thing. If you can master each component and truly treat it like 6 legs of a stool. We're going to go through a couple of acronyms and positions. This is kind of the language of officiating. We say referee or white hat is the one in charge who stands 12 to 15 yards away from the ball. You will be a wing, most likely. So when we say wing, it's the line of scrimmage officials on the ball, on the line of scrimmage. A head linesman or linesman is the same thing. So if somebody says linesman or head linesman, that's the person that's operating the chains. The line judge, to me, is the most cush position because you don't have chains, you're on the line, you're facing the chains. That was my favorite position. The umpire's in the middle. You may or may not have an umpire, depending on what level you officiate. We try to have 4-person mechanics at least. So there'll be a referee, a linesman, a line judge, and an umpire. And then in sub-varsity, unless your crew has 5-person on a 6th grade game, which is not unknown, not on it. On certain crews, they want to practice 5-person mechanics. You split the money 5 ways instead of 4 ways, so you don't get to supersize your fries that night. But, yeah. This is super important because you're going to see this on your test, so you need to know this. The team with the ball is team A. The team on defense is team B. Number 50 on offense is A50. Number 50 on defense is B50. If I say 4th and 10 from the A15, A12 takes the snap. A12 is number 12, who is the quarterback on offense. And he is pulled down by the face mask by B77. B77 is the defender, number 77. So A has the ball, B is on defense. If we're kicking, then instead of A and B, it's K and R. So if it's 4th down or a free kick, also known as a kickoff, then it would be K10 kicks the ball, R30 receives the ball. And then when we talk about yard lines, we also use A, B, K, and R with a dash. With a dash. So A50, where are these wonderful markers that I bought today? A50 is the center, and A12 is the quarterback, and the ball is snapped on the A20. If you see a dash between the numbers, and this is the correct NFHS way to show player numbering and yard numbering. The dash is the yard line. So if I said A33 catches the ball on the B12, how many yards does he have to go to score a touchdown? 12 yards. If I say the ball is snapped 1st and 10 on the A1, how far does team A have to go to score a touchdown? 99 yards. This is important because you're going to see this on your test, and you need to know, and oh, by the way, on paper, it is wicked difficult. If you're a visual learner, you might have to take a blank piece of paper and draw out a football field, and actually, because all of us have made mistakes because we read, A45 and we were thinking B45. Any questions about this slide? So if I say from now on, the ball snapped, or we free kick from the K40, everybody can imagine the K40, how many yards to Team R's goal line if we kick from the K40? How many yards? 60 yards. If there is a penalty, a personal foul after a touchdown, and Team K kicks from the R45, because you go K40 plus 15 yards, 5 is 45, 10 is midfield, 15 is the R45, you have to start imagining those things in your mind for test-taking purposes. And I can't do math in public on the field, so when we're marching off fouls, I rely on this guy when he was my umpire. Now he's not there, so I just guess. Guessing is okay. No, it's not. 4th and 5. From the K33, how many yards to go for a touchdown? 67. K12, is he on offense or defense? Offense, punts the ball, and R33 is on the receiving team, catches the kick at the R45. Dashes, yard line, no dashes, players. That's how we do it. That's how we speak. Okay. A ball that has been snapped or free kicked is live. It's not alive, it's live. So the ball that's been snapped or free kicked is live. A dead ball is when the ball is dead by rule, and when you start to look at the videos and we talk, the ball is dead by rule when it goes out of bounds. The ball is dead by rule when a runner, anything but the runner's hand or feet touches the ground. The ball is dead by rule with an inadvertent whistle. We hope that doesn't ever happen. So we have live ball period, dead ball period. A clean ball is a ball that is coming onto the field that Team A or Team K will next snap. We have an incomplete pass, the ball goes out of bounds, we get a clean ball from the sideline, we bring that ball onto the field so that we facilitate the conduct of the game. We get a clean ball onto the field. A dirty ball is the team that was on offense and now they're going on defense. So let's say they punt the ball on 4th down and Team R catches the ball's dead, fair catch, whistle. The ball that Team R is holding is now a dirty ball. That's the other team's ball, we get it off the field. We bring this player's ball onto the field, that's called a clean ball. So when you hear clean ball, hey, get a clean ball, I want a clean ball. That is the team that next snaps the ball, we want their football. Dirty ball, get that dirty ball off the field. That is the team that had the ball, they didn't get a first down, they didn't score a touchdown. We're getting their ball off the field because the other team is going to snap using their football. A free kick, also known as the kickoff, from what yard line? The K40. A scrimmage kick is either a punt or a field goal attempt, is a scrimmage kick. When you hear scrimmage kick, and in the definition, a correct punt formation is the punter has to be 10 yards from the ball. For a field goal attempt, the holder has to be 7 yards away from the ball with a player in position to kick the ball. You're going to learn all this stuff. But when you hear scrimmage kick, now does the ball have to be kicked? No. You could have a fake or what we call a fire. There's a mistake on the field, and instead of kicking the ball like they intended, they're now running for their lives. A try is following a score. We either have a kick try for 1 point, or a team may try to score a touchdown. It's called a touchdown in the rule book for 2 points. It's called a field goal in the rule book. So if you line up for a try, the ball snapped on the 3-yard line, the holder is on the 10-yard line, the kicker successfully kicks the ball through the uprights. By rule, that is called a field goal, and that field goal is worth 1 point. We say ready for play. So whenever we say the ball's marked ready for play, either the referee blows his whistle and says the ball's now ready for play, or now that we have a 40-second play clock, by rule, the ball is marked ready for play when an official places it on the yard line and backs away to his or her position. Before, when we had a 25-second play clock, the referee every single time blew 25-second ready. Then we switched to the 40-second, and it's wonderful. It's glorious. Line of scrimmage, we'll talk about that ad nauseum. If you hear line to gain, that means we have chains set up, and the line to gain is the yard line at the front stake of the chains. Every team is entitled 4 downs to go at least 10 yards. So the chain, if you're in 6-man, the chain is 15 yards. If you're in 8-man or above, the chain is 10 yards. You get 4 downs to try to go at least 10 yards. The front stake is called the line to gain. So if I say, you're a wing, get to the line to gain, you are getting to that yard line that equates to the position to gain a first down. Out of bounds, goal line, end zone, and forward progress. Now we have a beloved, if you go to my website, scroll to the bottom, there's a tribute to a gentleman named Ray Lutz, who is a godfather of our association. He passed away about 5 years ago. And you read his tribute, please, because he's a wonderful man. He said, forward progress is the wing's most important product. We are going to preach forward progress to you until you punch us, you punch Randy in the face, because I will wait until the 4th week when I'm gone. But if you are a wing official and you don't know how to get forward progress, you might as well be an umpire. You will get, right, Bruce? Forward progress is important. Forward progress. You want to be able to mark where that ball, the nose of the ball is dead by rule. That's one of your jobs as a wing, and you're gonna do that your first couple of seasons. All right, let's go ahead and everybody stand up. Are we set up or not yet? Let's sit down. Go ahead. Give you, how many minutes? 5 minutes, okay. Let's do a quick rules book survey. Sorry, Eric, I screwed up. I screwed that up. Everybody grab your rules book. Did you notice that I correctly snapped, or what is it called? Snipped the proper cover? Does that deserve at least a golf clap? Thank you, thank you. See, if you wonder if I care about you, just remember this. I do care about you, yes. So you are going to make your rules book look like this. This was last year's rule book. And I'm not saying like eat food on it and step on it, but you need to be in this rule book so much that it no longer looks like this, it looks like this. That's your job, is to be a rules expert. Let's just go through the rules book slowly, and I'll show you the components. You need to know the rules, because if you're a wing official, you're on the sideline, and who's talking to you? Coach. And if the coach says, can my snapper on a punt go downfield before the ball's kicked? And you don't know the answer? That is a fundamental, yes he can. Yes he can, as long as the ball is not passed, because he is an ineligible receiver if he is not at the end of his line or in the backfield at the snap. But yes, he can snap the ball and run down the field if the ball's kicked, yes. And if you don't know, your credibility just went like this. And then he asks you a second question, and you don't know, credibility. Now, as a brand new official, will you know all the rules? No. Is it okay for you to say, Coach, that's a great question. I'll get the answer to you as soon as I can. That's what you say. If you guess, you will be wrong. Have you ever tried to put a USB A into a socket or a plug into a socket? How many times? It's 50-50. How many times do you get it right? 0%. 0% on a 50-50. If you guess on the field, how many times will you be right? 0%. And then you're wrong, and then the coach will say, well, he doesn't know the rules. If you say, Coach, I don't know the answer to that question, but I promise you I'll get it as quickly as I can, and then you get the answer and you bring it back to him as quickly as you can, that's the right answer. Okay? Many rookie officials have saved the crew because you paid attention, and a bunch of dumb veterans like me and Randy and Tim think we know what we're doing, and we don't. And you save us. We don't expect you to be a rules expert, but I expect you to be a rules expert. I'm looking at you. For some reason, you strike me as you're going to be my rules expert. Are you up for that challenge? Okay. And, oh, by the way, I bought a white hat my first year, and I refereed my last game, a C-Squad game at Fountain Fort Carson, my 17th game as a rookie official, because I desperately wanted to. And if you have the next man up mentality, we have people that say, I don't want to be a referee. I don't know why they would say that, but I would want you to be next man up, because you could get a call saying, we need somebody on this varsity 8-man game. Are you available? And your answer needs to be, heck yes. Giddy up. You know, my next game is going to be my 5A. I want a 5A game, my next game. I mean, you need to have that mentality. Okay, the running study guide, I'm not going to spend a lot of time, we're a little bit behind. We give, this is an expensive book, you get it, because you pay your $97, and this book I think online is like 25 bucks, and you get it for free. I read this cover to cover my first year before my first game, but I'm weird. I'm done. I would challenge you to not let this collect dust, because this is gold. This complements the rules book. It's like a rules book and a case book and true-false questions all in one book. So start it once upon a time and end at the very end. And I promise you, and then take a highlighter and highlight what you don't understand. So if you read something that makes sense and you're like, yeah, that makes sense, then you don't have to highlight, but keep a notebook. I recommend you keep a notebook starting today, and you write questions, and then you can email me a series of questions until the 20th of July. And then email Randy and say, I read this in the race day guide, it makes no sense, can you help me understand it? Then when you get drafted, you can talk to your crew chief, and if your crew chief blows you off, then if I'm out of prison, I will answer you, or Randy will, or Eric will. Okay, casebook I'll skip. The mechanics manual is important, and did everybody get one? So read the mechanics manual for certain precepts. Somebody remind me to send you a soft copy of the 3 and 4 person mechanics manual, and I will send it to you. I'll email it out, and you study that because you need to know where to stand, where to look, all of the mechanics. So mechanics are, what do I do with my body and my eyes and my signals? In the rules book, when we start looking in the rules book, we will see rules changes on page, it doesn't have a page number, after the table of contents. This rules changes is a Reader's Digest of all of the changes from last year. And then there are also editorial changes which do not fundamentally change the rule, but it adds or subtracts words. So for example, we used to have with a mouthpiece, the rules book said you have to equip a mouthpiece, and then kids were emulating what they saw in college and the NFL. So they had a dangling mouthpiece that was ornamental, and they had a mouthpiece in their mouth. And we were stopping football games to say, put your mouthpiece in. And they were saying, oh, I got one, but I just want to look cool. And so they changed the NFHS rules book to say you equipped one mouthpiece so that we don't stop the game. And that's an editorial change. It's not a rules change. It just refines the rule. The points of emphasis are the next page, and the points of emphasis is illegal and improperly worn player equipment, sportsmanship, a defenseless player, which is a big deal. We'll talk about that. Those are the 3 points of emphasis. So I may say to a coach, he screams at us because we flag a hit on the defenseless player, and I can say, Coach, that's a point of emphasis this year. We as officials are really cracking down on that. We are going to talk about the field. We're going to go down to the field, but there are 10 rules, Rule 1 through Rule 10. We're not going through it. When you study, there's a video on the art of officiating except for Rule 8. I didn't get around to Rule 8. It's been like a year, and I still haven't done Rule 8 yet. But this is the name of each one of the rules. Definitions is in Rule 2. Definitions, so we might say Rule 220. So Rule 220 is helmet contact, illegal targeting. If you have a question in the rules book, go to Rule 2 first. See if you can find the definition first in Rule 2. Unfortunately, some of the definitions are in other rules. When you talk blindside block, you need to go to 3 separate places to get the full definition of a blindside block, unfortunately. So these are all of the rules. So for example, kicking the ball is Rule 6, snapping, handling, and passing the ball is Rule 7. So if you want to talk about a first touching on a scrimmage kick, that's in Rule 6. If you talk about defensive pass interference or ineligible downfield, that's in Rule 7. Rule 8 is scoring plays and touchbacks, momentum exception, what is a touchback, what is a touchdown, what is a safety. Rule 9 is a bunch of fouls. So it's all fouls, including a bunch of personal fouls. And then Rule 10 is how do we enforce penalties? And this is witchcraft. And they change it every year. And I'm just going to say this for the record too. There are people that are involved in the rules book at the state, and they don't know anything about football. So unfortunately, we always, as a football officials, we get a rules book and we go, well, wait a minute, this can't be correct. And they say, yeah, you're right, let's do a pen and ink change or something like that. There's football fundamentals, which a lot of people will stop after Rule 10, but football fundamentals, it's in the rule book. You must read football fundamentals because there are a lot of precepts in football fundamentals that you won't find in Rule 1 through Rule 10. So don't give up after Rule 10. Read fundamentals, resolving tied games, ball snapped on the 10-yard line, not the 25. We had a bunch of people from a town in Colorado, I won't say out loud. They were all suspended because they had an overtime period and all 5 of them insisted on snapping the ball on the 25-yard line because they didn't know the rules. Crazy. You may be asked this year to work an 8 or 6 person game. And if you are, there's rules in our rules book. There's comments on the changes. There's a penalty summary. So it's a box that has, it's on page 94 and 95, where it talks about 5-yard penalties, 10-yard penalties, 15-yard penalties, and then football officiating signals. And if I'm your white hat, I may say, hey, what's the signal for a legal forward pass again? Because I brain farted. So this doesn't give you permission because you're not a referee to not know the signals. So here's your chart for signals. Okay, now let's everybody stand up. Does anybody have to go to the bathroom real quick? You do?
About, helmet warning for the point of emphasis there. Does
Yes.
that go with the guardian caps as well?
Yeah, in Colorado, we don't, guardian caps are not authorized. You'll see the kids during warm-ups, but they have to take them off for the games. Until CHASA approves guardian caps, we do not use them. Now in junior high, that's a different story because CHASA does not have authority over junior high or Parks and Rec. So the junior high, the different junior high organizations can decide that it's legal, or Parks and Rec can decide it's legal. But right now in CHASA, guardian caps are not.